either in the courtroom or with my attorney, I didn't commit a crime that I know of. Or
right. No,
did you suspect me of committing a crime or about to commit a crime?
And I understand what you're saying, and you would say that even though they put handcuffs on you.
Correct.
So that would be irrelevant. They would have to tell you, hey, you're under arrest and this is what you're under arrest for. That's what you believe.
That's correct.
Right. Okay, good.
Well, my understanding, they're not allowed to put handcuffs on you unless they have some kind of probable cause and
Correct.
reasonable suspicion that you committed a crime or about to commit a crime.
That's correct.
And if they do that, they have, as far as all the legal records and statutes that I've read, they have an obligation to tell you. Other than that, you lack the legal authority to put your hands on me. It's no different than right now. I asked you when I first came in here, am I being detained?
Right.
Am I under arrest? You don't have the legal authority to put your hands on me. I strongly advise that you don't. And we'll be fine if we don't. But if you did, I would do the same thing. Why are you, under what legal authority are you invoking to put your hands on me and then cuff me and take my property? I have a right to know. And it's very clear, the law is very clear as far as everything I read and understand. It's very clear about that. You just can't come up to somebody who's standing in a somewhat semi-surrendering state with your attorney already in the courtroom and start manhandling them. There's no call for that. You're already semi-surrendering none of the time.
And I assume you checked your video to see if anyone else came in the house. Anyone other than law
Absolutely.
enforcement? Okay. Gotta ask the
Absolutely.
question.
I can identify 4 of them. I can't identify the other 4.
But they were all.
And something to think about, Gary. Obviously, if you have evidence that would show somebody removing all this money from the house, I mean, that's something we certainly would be interested in seeing, right?
I came down
July 21st?
first, yeah,
2015?
and I have a video of me coming down, talking to these 2, trying to lodge a complaint
Right.
about my money being gone, and they refused to help me.
What did they say?
No, too bad, go away.
Did they direct you to someplace else?
No,
Or?
if you see the video of what Lieutenant Hoffman actually says, it's no, go away, we're not taking your complaint. I don't believe you, I don't care, it didn't happen. And he outright refuses to help me, and that's on video.
And had your attorney sent letters to the police department prior to that requesting the property back?
Yes.
Including the money? Did he specify money in the letters, do you know?
Do you think you still have a copy of that letter?
I do.
Is that something you could email to me?
I do.
Wonderful.
That's really nothing more than a letter from A
Yeah,
to
but
B.
it's you requesting, yeah, I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
I do have a copy of that,
Okay.
and I do believe I can email that to you with no
Yeah.
problem.
Okay. End goal with our conversations.
Well, one thing is what exactly am I here for in the first place? Because there's actually several parts of my complaint, and I don't know if you're just focusing on one part of my complaint to answer your question, or are you focused on the entire complaint? Because
right, go ahead.
in order for me to answer your question, I got to know what part are you focused on. If you're only focused on 1 out of the 10 parts, I'm SOL.
What I'm doing with right this second, according to what I've been asked to do by the district attorney, because you did file the paperwork here in the courthouse. So that's kind of where my direction would come from, is dealing with the aspect at the city and the search warrant, and there were a few things listed in the in your I'm not sure how the wording was, complaint, I guess it would be.
Sure.
About the paperwork, the reports. I think you said something about the reports weren't written.
Correct.
I think was one of them. The Miranda
Correct.
issue. Obviously the items that are missing.
Correct.
I was summarizing kind of, I would call it maybe unprofessional behavior.
Correct.
With the 2 detectives.
Correct.
There might have been another thing listed there that I'm missing.
Well, I'll go through what I listed. A, failure to write the police arrest report on June 11th and June 12th.
Yep.
For the 2 days that I was in jail, they arrested me, etc., etc. They refused to release any police reports, witness statements, arrest reports that had anything to do with June 11th or June 12th.
Have you since gotten those?
Never,
You've never gotten any of
Never.
the police reports?
never.
And have you done, so you did receive something from someone?
Brian Running, who's the city attorney,
Okay.
on August 2015 at a pre-trial conference. is
And
when-
that was only the reports about McDonald's?
Correct,
Okay, so nothing from June 11th.
nothing,
Now, you went to court and Judge Carter
correct,
said the stuff must be given to you.
correct,
Have you received anything?
nothing.
And when was that one?
That was June 20th when Judge...
Of this year?
Of this year.
Okay.
Of this year, I'm still battling to get that police report from June 11th and
Okay.
June 12th.
So you still have not obtained that?
Until to this day,
Okay.
September 13th,
Right.
still don't have it.
Okay, so the June reports and anything, basically, let me put it this way, if I'm getting this right. Anything from June 11th on, paperwork-wise from WKPD, you don't have? Okay.
I've got a supplement that's written about 10 months later that I'm not interested in.
About the June 11th thing?
Correct.
Do you think there's another report?
I know there is. There's a primary and there's a supplement. They'll give me a supplement, they won't give me the primary.
So wait, what do you mean by primary? Do you think they pulled a different incident report from the June 11th incident?
I think they added to the primary by a supplement, and they'll give me the supplement, they won't give me the primary.
But the primary would be the initial thing from McDonald's, right?
Right, from June 11th, June 12th, from the day you arrested somebody,
Yeah.
that's the primary police report. Okay, I'm gonna arrest you, I'm gonna put you in
So
jail.
you think that they should have pulled another report for the day they arrested?
Well, I believe, my understanding, standard protocol procedures, when you arrest somebody, you fill out paperwork. And when you throw them in jail, you fill out paperwork. But there's a certain amount of paperwork generated on who you are, why you were arrested, why you got done, that is written the day of the arrest.
Oh, so you think something was written on June 11th, and you're saying the supplement was written months later?
Correct.
You're saying that you think there's something in between there?
Well, I think there's the primary. What I call the primary would be the day that I was arrested on June 11th and jailed. And the search warrants, and also the search warrants were served on June 11th. And you had up to eight, maybe even more, law enforcement agents, 4 detectives that I know of, and 4 other unidentified people.
Right.
And they're telling me that for those 2 days, not one piece of paper, none, 0, has ever been written on those 2 days. But 10 months later, they'll give me a supplement written by Carpenter and
About that day?
about that day.
Okay.
It's what's on those reports that they don't want me to see because they didn't find anything.
Did you get a copy of those search warrant?
I did.
Okay. Did you file a discovery motion?
I
In
did.
circuit court?
Not in circuit court.
Because I think you normally would file a discovery motion, right?
Well, the
I mean, you're
closest...
entitled to everything that's pertinent to your case.
Correct.
So any investigation we do, Gary, if it all goes over because it's potentially discoverable to the defense.
To answer your question, I did, before the municipal court date, do everything I can under discovery, open records, freedom of information, to get whatever information I could before December 3rd, 2015. On June 20th, Carter orders it released, to answer your question.
Yeah.
He gives the city attorney till August 26th of this year to release it, as well as a witness list, because I'm also questioning
Right,
the witness
right.
list. On August 26th, I get a reply from the city attorney, what you have is all we got. The witness list, we are not bringing in Officer Saunders, badge number 292, who responded to the McDonald's. We're not bringing him in. We're not bringing him
Right.
in, and we don't want you to even know that Officer Saunders responded to this call. They buried his name, his badge number, that he even responded. I had to fight like hell just to find out how many officers responded to the McDonald's incident. They're telling me, the city attorney, there's only one officer that responded, Kerrigan. Bullshit. Okay, I'm hammering them. I says, there's more than one officer that responded, because there's 10 to 15 eyewitnesses or close to it that saw what happened in McDonald's.
Right.
You're going to need more than one to get to all of them. Throughout the whole process, even after December trial, they bury and conceal that Officer Saunders even responded to the McDonald's call. And I'm hammering them on it. They said, well, okay, Officer Sanders was another one, as well as Kerrigan. Good, where's his report? Who was the witnesses that he talked? No, we're not nothing said about witnesses. They're not bringing Sanders back in, or won't even let me have access to him. The other person they're not bringing back into court is Detective Carpenter.
But you can bring him in, right?
How?
You subpoena him.
Okay, to answer your question, I subpoenaed a bunch of people and they were squashed, or quashed as they like to call it. Okay, we played that game and I tried to bring
Where did you put, and what level were you at, Gary, when you did that? Were you still at the muni level, or were you at?
Yes, municipal
You're
level.
at a different level now.
That's correct. The same issue though. These people aren't playing, let's just say, in good faith, as it's referred to as. It should be considered in good faith. That I shouldn't have to bring in and subpoena eyewitnesses
Right.
that you already are involved in this case.
Yeah.
Okay? The city attorney doesn't want me to bring in Saunders, and he doesn't want me to bring Carpenter in either. Carpenter will not be in court in November, for my jury trial. They will not bring him in.
Are you going to have an attorney for the trial?
No. For me,
Game.
what's our end game?
Yeah.
And my question is, what are you guys really going to do?
Well, and that's why I didn't know about the fact that there possibly are records that are missing. You know, I mean, I didn't know that until you're telling me
Okay.
that. So those are things I need to check on.
Sure.
Obviously, you're concerned about your property that's missing.
Right.
So the things that are on this sheet are
Sure.
what I'm addressing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
You answered my question.
Okay.
Because this isn't my only complaint that I filed with the district attorney as well as the police.
Okay.
I also filed complaints against the witnesses for perjury.
Okay.
The ones that got up on the stand outright lied. Period. I know it for a fact, and I can prove it. There's security cameras that will actually support my accusations that these witnesses are lying.
Okay.
Second, they were coached and they were told what and how to say it on the stand by the city attorney, Anne Marie Iceland.
Okay.
So there are more than just this complaint
Okay.
here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm dealing with, is that one.
At your muni trial, did you represent yourself?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
And I know, is it now, it's still, even though it's at the circuit court level, it's still a municipal charge, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You're not at that level where this is a criminal trial or anything like that.
Correct.
So I'm not sure exactly what the rules are. Normally, if it's a criminal, you have a right to subpoena witnesses. If the state doesn't call in a witness and you want that witness, you can subpoena that witness. It happens all the time. But I don't
tried.
understand the municipal rules, Gary.
To answer your question, I tried.
Yeah.
And back to my original question or comment, where's the good faith in telling me that you're not even going to bring in Detective Carpenter, the man who supposedly investigated this crime
Did
spree?
they say why?
Oh, well, which line of bullshit do you want me to tell you?
Pick one.
One, you're not going to believe any one of them, but here's one. He's unavailable.
Can you get another date?
He's unavailable for that date. Can we get another date? He's unavailable for that date, because this is what I've been arguing since in May as well as in June. I keep hammering the city attorney for the witness list because I want Saunders there and I want Carpenter there, and they've been sitting there from day one going, no, we don't want Saunders there, we don't want Carpenter there. He showed up in December and got him on the stand. Couldn't get him to answer any questions, but I did get him on the stand. And the judge protected him and said he didn't have to answer any of my questions.
What did he say? It wasn't relevant or something? Or okay. All right.
Not relevant. It's not relevant why I was arrested. You're going to tell me?
Is that what the judge said?
That's what the judge
you can't
said.
answer that? Okay.
Yeah, you don't. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. It's irrelevant why you were arrested. What was the probable cause and reasonable suspicion? Here's the question. Giving you a legal authority to arrest
Right,
me
right.
while I'm already in the court. Nope, you don't have to answer that question. Well, if you don't have probable cause and reasonable suspicion, you can't arrest. Technically, it gets into a really gray area as far as what authority you have to arrest me.